Welcome to Share Talk, the only podcast where investors come first.
Hello and welcome to Share Talk. Today I'm joined by Alessandro Zamboni, who is founder and CEO at Me Capital. How are you today, Alessandro?
Fine, thanks, Isaac.
Right, we're just discussing offline. You've had quite a good month on the stock market. Not bad. Difficult act to follow, maybe a tenfold move. Has the reaction taken you by surprise, or were you always secretly expecting this, let's say?
No, we thought that the market, the first stage, has to understand our business model. I think that right now the market has definitely understood our business model, and accordingly, we think also that also thanks our communication, our announcement, all the market trust our initiative. We are very, very thrilled to confirm that what we announced will happen, and accordingly we are working hard in August. You know that August is a particular month where lawyers, advisors has to be charged in order to manage the different tasks, but we are very thrilled and bullish in order to complete all the streams, all the tasks we announced it.
Right, I mean, you've had a tenfold rise, partly off the back of that new understanding of your company, but also the iMass deal. That's one place in the Middle East. What is the scalability of doing these deals? Can you just do, is it just one? Is it 10? Is it 100? What can we expect over the next few months or the next year?
Sure. I think that Middle East is the proof of our scalability of our business, because we see that right now we have 4 hubs. One is the London hub that will manage UK and European countries. The second one is Abu Dhabi hub that is the reason of the relationship with the iMass and Mr Almass. And the third hub is US. That is a very important hub for us, and also thanks to the support of one of our directors, Enrico Camerinelli, we already started the feasibility study for US. And the fourth will be another non-European region, and we are exploring some opportunities.
Right, and so the scalability seems to be, as in any tech company, once you've established your platform, you can scale up very easily.
Yes, it's correct. Our features, our service is unique because also the demand is huge. So we can combine the technology, the innovation of the product, the inventory monetization, but the very important point is that there is an untapped huge market. Accordingly, the demand, like we are seeing right now, UK is huge, is powerful. So it's a very important factor of the success of the scalability of a business.
Right, and so it's interesting to try and work out why the demand is there. Is the demand there because I wrote you sort of you've apparently reinvented the wheel, but actually then I said you might have actually created a new wheel. This inventory monetization is like a new wheel. It's a new idea. And therefore, in a COVID environment, maybe is that much more attractive because obviously working capital is short?
Yes, you know that I come from a financial services advisory, so I know, and my team and me know very well the regulation, the banking regulation, the banking constraints. Accordingly, the inventory monetization service started before coronavirus. Obviously, during this period, the demand has been increasing, and but also before the market was untapped, underserved, because banks, has focused on specific facilities, but inventory is not the facility, is not the asset that is easy to be funded. Accordingly, we see that banks also in the future, we are talking with UK banks, the SYME.L scheme and SYME.L are focused on the short term to support the cash of a company in short term period, but the inventory monetization is the future, is the opportunity for a company to free up cash from the stock. so a unique service.
Right, and the other point with that is, I mean, you mentioned the banks, but presumably the reason that you are in business is because basically banks weren't providing a proper, I mean, let's say a proper service, or they weren't prepared to lend or provide finance in the way that they wanted. So you're in a way a challenger to the banks.
Our point of view is to highlight that, as you are saying, in the inventory monetization is not lending, is not that for a company. This is a very important, the most important point. Also to understand that banks for us are partners, are not competitors. Asset-based lenders are partners, because asset-based lending can't support 100% of inventory value for a company. SYME can support, can deliver, can purchase 100% of inventory value, for instance. Accordingly, we think that there is an opportunity to work alongside banks. There is the reason because in Italy we are closing the agreement with two important banks in a self-funding mode, and we are seeing the same opportunities in the UK and other countries.
Right, and so your USP is your technology, or is it your idea, or is it? I mean, you can't have two USPs, but is it the idea or the technology?
It's a combination, because we create a new product, the monetization under IFRS 15, so compliant to IFRS standards, and we use technologies in order to ensure that this new product could be scalable. It could be, and also investors could rely to the platform and the processes.
Right, you got you come up with this idea. You got first mover advantage. Is it the case that there are somebody else might look at your company and say, well, I like that idea, I'm going to do that myself, and they could compete with you, or they could take you over, but obviously that'd be nice, but they could compete with you, and your growth won't be so great. I mean, is there competition in your area?
Right now, we don't see a competition. I give you an example. One of the most important banks in the world that is working with us conduct an assessment in order to understand if in the world, in the market, there were a similar initiative, and they didn't find any similar initiative. And I'm talking of one of the most important banks in the world. Accordingly, we think that right now is not a competition. I think that a genuine competition could be supporting to our growth, and I also see that specific players that also articles say that our competitor wrote us in order to work with us, and so we think that there is an opportunity to fit the untapped market, also working with quasi-competitors.
Right. So, what are the barriers to growth, and what would drive growth? What are the pluses and minuses on that? What would help you, or what would slow you down?
I think that the opportunities for growth is to increase the communication, the dispatch of our service, and also the investor side has to understand well this new structure, because it is a new asset class for the funding side. As an example, when I talk about the favourable placing that is on track, the very important point is that these 16 cross-border multi-billion asset managers understood our structure, and accordingly will be strategic partner also for the new issuances. And accordingly, the point is also the understanding of our investment structure. If and when investors, funders understood our structure, there is a big opportunity to scale our business without problems.
Right, and the barriers. What are the negatives? Are there any negatives that you can see at the moment?
No, I see. Our point is also could be a point that we could improve. That are, for instance, the speed of the scalable business, because you know that our business is not a transactional business. We have to assess companies. We have to evaluate the companies, to conduct the due diligence. Accordingly, the barriers are also to be efficient, and so to study innovative processes in order to be efficient, and so achieve more and more companies.
Right, so to finish off, you've announced, let's say, in the Middle Eastern hub, you've got your deal there. I presume that you'd like to have something similar in place in London, in New York, or the Far East, etc. Is that the goal? And is that the kind of outlook that you have and investors should be looking to?
Correct. We are working in UK. Also, we are ready to deliver UK, a very important supply chain on multi-billion companies wrote us, UK companies wrote us in order to use our service. And we have already started the US pilot because one of our directors support us in order to early start the feasibility study, and one very important professor of the US asked us to write a technical paper alongside our rollout in the US. So I think that the US is a very important news, and all other streams are in place, will happen, so we are thrilled and bullish on our future.
And in terms of just a final question, in terms of the costs of running your business, I'm presuming that it's not cash intensive.
No, and another point is that for each company we onboard, the company pay a down payment. So we are generating cash in August, in July, in September, because each company pay a down payment. So we are happy because our cash position, our working capital is very, very good position. Also thanks to the due diligence, because our service is a very powerful services. Companies allowed to pay a down payment to be on the list of the future securitization issues.
On that happy note, Alessandro Zamboni, CEO at SYME.L, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening. Remember to visit our website for more news and other podcasts at www.share-talk.com.